On vit déjà au quotidien et on se le doit de le dire. On doit dire la vérité. On doit dire qu'on n'est pas protégé. Et le ministre Trudeau qui se promène, qui se déguise, porte mes mocassins, porte mes mocassins. Essaie de vivre ce que nous vivons. Il ne pourra jamais ressentir ce que nos femmes, que les familles vivent avec toute cette injustice sociale. Je suis comme... je suis enragée. Voilà. Je suis enragée pour mes sœurs, je suis enragée pour mon peuple, je suis enragée pour les autres nations. Et qu'est-ce qu'on va faire? Là est la question. Merci, merci d'être là, chacun et chacune d'entre vous. Merci de supporter, merci de montrer qu'il y a une injustice à quelque part. Merci de montrer que votre justice doit être rétablie. On a des commissions, j'ai hâte de voir à quoi vont servir les commissions. Encore des recommandations. On veut que justice soit faite. On veut montrer que la justice a une défaillance envers nous. On veut que la justice soit rétablie et qu'on puisse se promener en toute sécurité. Jusqu'à maintenant, merci.
Thank you, Vivian. I'm now going to ask Clifton Nicholas to come.
Sego se o gwego hore o geto gadgets. Kana staga na gwa kana gele taga no rado se o gwego. I'm happy there are moral people that still exist in this country, that you're here today. I'm here because I want to incite you. I want to incite you to action. I want you to be loud. Be consistent with your loud voices. Talk about justice. I am completely sickened by what I've been witnessing. Just a week I was here talking about Colton Boushie, and I'm here again. I cried so hard when that verdict came down. I didn't even want to talk to anybody. I didn't even know if I wanted to come here to address anybody. Enough is enough. When? I'm kind of glad that we're standing here in this park and we're surrounded by the SPVM. I'm very happy that we're here doing this now here. We're talking about violence against Indigenous people because a lot of violence happens in this very park at the hands of the SPVM, against the Inuit people, against the Cree people, the Algonquin people, the Mohawk people, Oklahoma people. Here in this park. And the SPVM goes around handing out papers warning people to be careful of the Inuit. We are home. Akan hutsa. Kanagwa. Akan hutsa. Iagwa. We can't seem to do anything to fit into this society. Everything we do is deviant. Even our existence is deviant. We become violent, we react. We're criminals. We don't say nothing, we're apathetic. We die, we're disposable. Who gives a shit? I give a shit. I know you do too. If not, you wouldn't be standing here right now. But what are you going to do? Are we just going to do a vigil? Because words are cheap right now. Words are very, very cheap. I expect more. I do more. I'm doing more. I'm going to do more. I expect everybody to do more. If you are outraged, then put the outrage where it belongs. Take care of this thing. We have a thing called gasonta in my language, the Turo Wampum. We've always maintained our boat. You have not, on your end, maintained your boat. It's time to maintain your boat. It's time to readjust and re-examine our relationships. 21 again, now.
Thank you, Clifton. I'm going to ask Norman to say a couple of words.
I removed my glasses so I could see you and you could see me. I was raised in a very violent community. And I grew up watching my mother rescuing women in the community. Our community was not very big, it was only about maybe 80 people. So since I was a boy, my mother would bring in these wounded women to the house. And over time, as I got older, I fortified the house. I made it so good that at least it would barricade some angry boyfriends or some angry husbands. Dad would try to break into the house to try to harm their spouses and their children. Back home, the goal was for most men was to survive, to fight, to be able to survive in jail, because I was told that, Norman, if you don't fight, you're not going to survive in jail. And I said, I'm not going to jail. I'd rather keep my hands down and take a beating, because to man me up was not the kind of man that I wanted to be. I didn't want to be a violent man. I didn't want to be a man that threatens people, threatens or kills their parents, harms their children, and beats their women to pieces. So I lived life backwards. If I saw some violence, I said, what is the opposite of violence? If I saw some woman getting beaten up by their man, what is the opposite of beating up a woman? You know, what is the opposite of this violence, this non-stop violence? So, I grew up being a different kind of man. I only ever hit 2 people in my life, and that was my 2 brothers. I only punched one of my brothers because he was being a dick. And I punched my other brother because he was being himself. I write a lot of things. I have a lot of stories, not just the hard part of life back home on the Indian Reserve, but I write about some old culture because I was raised by good parents and good grandparents that taught me simple things like love, like acceptance, like honesty, like truth, like humility, like courage. It took all those things for me to survive my life back home. So when I grew up, I had a very sensitive, a lot of sensitivity for the women in my community and the children. The children are like my children because I helped raise most of these children, my nephews and nieces. And even those that were not family, I regarded them like if they were my children. And I never had children because I was too busy raising my brother's children, my sister's children, the neighborhood children. They had a place to go. They had a safe place to come. No one was going to harm them at my parents' house because I lived with my parents at the time. I was an adolescent, a young adult. So, I was ashamed to be a man for almost all my life. Even when I was a boy, I wished that I was born a girl. And I hope in my next life I could be a woman, because I want to understand from your shoes what it's like to be a woman, to have lower pay, to be treated less, to not be taken seriously. Me, I take you seriously. I'll tell you one thing. When I walk down the street anywhere in town or any other place in all the towns around here or even back home, every time I pass by a group of women, young or old, even a woman by herself walking on the street, university student, college student, anybody, in my mind, I surely don't say, wow, that's a nice piece of meat. Because you're not a piece of meat. You're not an object. At least to me, you're not. I walk past you and I say, I hope nobody ever harms you, ever. It's like a little prayer I say every time. So this cause for me is very dear to my heart. And I do care. I care about people. And I love you all. And I hope that nothing happens to you ever. Back home in Thunder Bay, my family lives over there, and my sisters say they don't even go out alone anymore. Just a couple of days ago, my sister was posting something on the Facebook saying that a pickup truck went by and they gave a false gun. They said, pow, 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 to the indigenous girls and women in town. So, that's all I wanted to say, and I thank you so much for listening.
I'm the last speaker. It's almost 4 o'clock and we have to finish. So my name is Naguset. I'm the Executive Director of the Native Women's Shelter. And this morning I was doing a little bit of research on Tina because I wasn't sure what to say. But I was struck that when she was younger, when she was around 10 or something, when she grew up, she wanted to work, as a social worker with children. That's what she wanted to do. And that resonates with me because that's what I wanted to do also when I was a kid. And I think that as Indigenous people, we haven't really had a fair shake. Tina's story exists everywhere, and it's existed for generations. When I was a child, I was in foster care. My older sister was in foster care. She spent her whole youth in foster care, bounced around from foster care to group homes to back to our mother. Our mother went to residential school, wasn't able to take care of me and my sister.